everyone, my name is Sushma and today's class is about the sound of Om. The sound of Om has four parts to it. The very first part is the Ah sound which emerges when we chant it. It starts in our belly, the place of our creation. The Oo sound goes to your heart, your ribs, how we interact with people around us, how we express ourselves to the world. It is our preserving energy. And then the Moon sound vibrates in your head. It's our spiritual place. It's our connection with that highest power, that higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it. So yoga just describes it as Brahman or pure consciousness, but here you can play some Mad Libs and define what that higher consciousness is that you are connected to. So those are the three parts of Om, and the fourth part, which is very important, is silence. So once you chant Om, you sit with the silence, you feel the vibrations. And it's like if you talk to a friend and you say what you have to say, you have to stop and listen to your friend speak back. So the sound of Om, after we chant it, we are chanting it into the universe. And then we pause and we listen, we take it in. So let's get started with today's class. It's a moderate class, so take it at your own pace. If something does not feel good, stop and do what is right for you. It is not about the yoga postures, it's more about, can you stay present? How are you reacting to what emotions are rising up or what is showing up right now? So it's more about observing instead of getting into a posture and looking a certain way. So let's get started. Let's start in a child posture. So your hips sink down to your heels, your heart melts, and start to notice your breath. How are you breathing right now? Feel the breath expand your back body. Feel the softening as you breathe out. The idea is to stay present to what is happening right now, because yoga happens in the now. We connect to our wisdom, our higher consciousness in this moment right here. So take this next couple of breaths, pulling your awareness in and watching, observing, tapping into that consciousness. That is you. Take one more deep breath, tuck your toes under, and let's lift up into a downward facing dog. Let's wake our legs up, bend one knee, then the other. You can move your hips side to side, anything that feels good, what wakes your legs up. This is your yoga practice. Take a deep breath in, roll forward, find plank. All right, so hug your lower belly in, press the inner thighs up. Press back, downward facing dog. We are waking our core, we are waking our shoulders up. The second time, roll forward into a plank. Breathe here. Notice if you hold your breath, what are your patterns that you're not aware of? Press back, downward facing dog. We'll do that one more time. Take a deep breath in, roll forward, find plank. Hug the lower belly. Notice if you drop your head, lengthen through the neck and press your inner thighs up. You're going to stay here a little longer. Breathe through it. Take one more deep breath. Drop your knees now. Drop your knees, and we're going to lower all the way down onto your belly. So put your hips, your belly, your ribs down to the mat. Prop yourself up on your forearms so your elbows go under your shoulders. Roll the shoulders away from your ears and breathe here. So think about widening through the collarbones. Take one more deep breath. As you breathe out, release the posture, slide back into a child. Start moving into a child posture. Breathe into your back body. When we talk about the story of creation, when we talk about that ah sound, the sound mythologically, the sound of Brahma, we remind ourselves of the story of Krishna. When he was a little baby, he's eating mud, and his mom comes to him and asks him to open his mouth. And she sees the whole universe within it. Take another deep breath in, roll forward, find your way into a table. Kick the right leg back behind you and the left arm reaches forward. Right leg back, left arm forward. Breathe. Thumb is pointing up, the toes are pointing down, and you're breathing, hugging the lower belly in. So the symbolic meaning of that story is when we are little kids, we are connected to that pure consciousness that is us, that light that is us. Take one more deep breath, hand comes down to the mat, step the back foot forward in between your hands. On your in-breath, straighten the front leg out, pull your hips back. And as you breathe out, drop forward into that knee. So if you have blocks, you can use blocks under your hands. In-breath, pull the hips back. As you breathe out, drop forward. So we are waking the knees up. Take one more deep breath, pull the hips back. This time, as you drop forward, plant the left hand down and take the right arm up towards the ceiling. If you want, you can always tuck that back toes under and lift the knee off the mat, but that's only an option. Are you breathing? Are you staying present? Because yoga happens in the now. Take one more deep breath. As you breathe out, bring the hands down to the mat, step it back, plank. If you want, take a vinyasa. You can drop the knees down, you can keep the knees up, lower all the way down onto your belly, pull through into a cobra. So when you're pulling, think about pulling into your hands. And as you breathe out, press back into a child or a downward facing dog, whatever feels good in your body. So listen to yourself. If you were to ask a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? You would never hear, I would like to be a ballerina, but I don't have the right body. Or I would like to open my own business, but I don't have enough money. The world is within us. They believe in that unlimited capabilities, the potential that we all hold within us. Take one more deep breath. Let's drop our knees down. And the opposite leg kicks back behind you. I think it's the left leg that kicks back and the right arm reaches forward. All right. So we are the same people. When we were kids, we believed that we could, the world is our playground. We hold the universe within us. What happened? When the world started telling us that this is right and this is wrong, we started moving away from that pure light that is us. Yoga reminds us of that. Take one more deep breath, plant the right hand down, step the left foot forward in between your hands. In breath, pull your hips back. So you're stretching out into that hamstring, chin drops to your chest. As you breathe out, drop forward. Breathe in, pull back. Breathe out, drop forward. So again, it does not matter how your postures look like. Are you here? Are you listening to your body? Are you tuned in? The next one, let's find our twist. The right hand plants, left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Option to pick that back knee off the ground. If it doesn't feel good, listen to your wisdom. The more you trust your own wisdom, the stronger it will get. 2 more breaths. Sit with yourself, breathe. And this time as you breathe out, hands come down to the mat, step it forward into a forward fold. So step towards the front of the mat, let your head hang heavy and breathe. You can hold on to your opposite elbows as you do that. You can sway your upper body from side to side. And whenever you are ready, bend your knees, start rising up into a mountain. Bring your hands to your heart. Breathe in, take your arms up. As you breathe out, sink your hips down for Utkatasana. So you're going into a chair posture. Visualize sitting into a chair. So stick your hips back and then draw your tailbone down towards the heels. Hands to your heart lifts into your thumbs. You're still breathing. Remind yourself to breathe. When discomfort shows up in a posture or in real life, what is your pattern? Listen in. Take one more deep breath. Rise back up into a mountain. Reach your arms up. Make it a small back bend if that feels good. And then bring your hands to your heart. Take in the vibrations here. Feel the vibrations of the posture. Feel the vibrations of your breath. Take another deep breath in. Lift the right foot off the mat. Circle it back as you step it back into a warrior one. So make sure you ground that back heel. Alright. Hips turn towards the front of the mat and then the arms reach up towards the ceiling. So if grounding the back heel does not feel good, if you feel tightness in your hips, you can always come onto the ball mount of your back foot. You can keep the heel lifted. Relax your shoulders, soften into the posture. Let go of what it should look like and just feel it. Take one more deep breath. We're going to open into a warrior two. Warrior two. Breathe. Reach out from your fingertips. Watch your front knee. Make sure it's not buckling in. Press it towards the outer edge of your toe, outer edge of your foot. Take another deep breath in. Maybe sink a little deeper, find your edge, and then reverse your warrior. Drop your back hand to your back thigh. And the top arm reaches up and back behind you. Breathe into the left side of your ribs. Remind yourself you hold the universe within you. All our experiences are created by us. We have unlimited potential. One more deep breath. Cartwheel your hands down to the mat and step it back into a plank. Take the time to move through a vinyasa where you move through a cobra or an up dog. And then let's all find our way into a child posture. Knees go mat distance apart, big toes come together. Turn your palms facing up, a gesture of receiving, a gesture of letting go. Again, awareness draws inside and you watch your inner landscape. Sit with yourself. Take this time here. Take another deep breath in. As you breathe out, palms face down, pull yourself up into a table. And we are going to thread the needle on the right side. So take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Make sure the knees are under your hips. The right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, thread the needle. So the arm goes halfway in between your wrist and your knee. The shoulder and the side of the face lands on the mat. The left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. You can even wrap it around your waist or reach forward towards the front of the mat. So couple of options, listening to your body, breathing. Wherever you choose to be. If your shoulder does not come onto the mat, you can put a pillow under your shoulder. Again, playing around with what feels good in your body. Trusting your own wisdom. Slowly bring the hand back down. Take that counter stretch. Take the right arm up towards the ceiling. Right? And then move into a puppy pose. For a puppy pose, we walk our hands forward and try to melt the shoulders onto the mat. Your hips stay in line with your knees. Alright? So you should feel a stretch towards the front of your heart in your upper body. Breathe here. Think about breathing and opening. We usually armor ourselves to protect ourselves from getting hurt. Think about breaking through it. The only way to walk in this world is to walk with an open heart. Take one more deep breath. Pull yourself back up into a table. Press back into a downward facing dog. Take small steps to walk your way forward into a forward fold again. Alright, so take your time, and whenever you are ready, rise up into a mountain. Hands to your heart. Breathe in, take your arms back up. Breathe out, sink your hips down, Utkatasana. So again, try to keep your big toes together. Try to keep your feet together. Unless that bothers your lower back, then you can have a wider stance. Keep drawing your hips back, but tuck the tailbone down. Lift the heart. Breathe through whatever is showing up. One more deep breath. Everything comes to an end. Sink a little deeper and then rise up into a mountain. As you breathe out, hands to your heart again. Lift the left leg this time and step it back for warrior one. Warrior one. You're still facing, your hips are facing the front of the mat. Arms reach up towards the ceiling and you're breathing. Let go of what is going to come next. Take in this posture. Take in your breath. Take in your experience. Mind is constantly jumping to the past or to the future. Stay here. Yoga happens in the now. Open up, warrior two. Shoulders away from your ears, fingertips reaching in opposite directions. Legs are strong, rooting into the ground. The front knee is being suggested towards the outer edge of the mat. Drop your back hand to your back thigh, reverse your warrior. Listen to the sound of your breath. It helps you stay present. Take one more deep breath. As you breathe out, let's cartwheel our hands down to the mat. Step it back into a plank and lower all the way down onto your belly. Make a pillow with your hands and rest your head here. So again, just taking in the echo, the vibrations of the postures you just did. When we talk about the preserving energy, we talk about Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna is in the battlefield, and he refuses to fight because he sees his friends, his teachers on the other side. And Krishna says to him, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? So Arjuna represents our doubtful mind. When a challenge shows up, we stop trusting ourselves. All these doubts start churning up. And Krishna is that wisdom that we hold within us, that always pulls us through no matter how big the challenge is. Take one more deep breath. Sweep your arms by your sides. Palms are facing down. Press the tailbone down into the mat, and on your in-breath, lift up. Lift your upper body, lift your lower body. As your hands lift off the mat, squeeze your pinky fingers towards each other. You'll feel the shoulder blades squeezing into. Breathe here. All of us have gone through so many challenges, but something within us always pulled us through. Tap into that. Look beyond the Arjuna, tap into the Krishna. Take one more deep breath. As you breathe out, release the posture. And then slide back into a child. Take your time, move slowly, slide back into a child. Breathe. Pull yourself up into a table again. We are going to thread the needle on the left side. So find your table, the left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, and as you breathe out, you thread the needle. Breathe deeply. Again, the option to lift the right arm up towards the ceiling. You can wrap it around your waist. You can reach it forward. Wherever you are, just remember to breathe. You are whole, you are complete. You are perfect the way you are. Just like a seed that goes through different phases before it becomes a tree. Trust your path. Take one more deep breath. Hand comes down to the mat. Take that counter stretch by reaching the left arm up. And then find your puppy or a child. Puppy is walking your hands forward, melting the shoulders down. You should feel a stretch. Child is just sinking your hips. Every stage that we go through serves a purpose. Remind yourself that you hold the doubtful mind, but you also hold the wisdom. What are you feeding the most? Whatever you feed is going to get stronger. Take another deep breath in, and as you breathe out, start making your way into a downward facing dog. So take your time, move slowly, move into a table, tuck your toes under, and then walk your way forward into a forward fold again. All right. Press down into your feet, rise up into a mountain, and bring your hands to your heart. Right. Let's do a balancing posture. We are going to do eagle posture. Shift your weight into your right foot. Left foot lifts off the mat. Cross the knee around. So you have to bend the standing leg. Yeah? Look at something that's not moving and your hands come to your heart. So this can be your posture right here. If you want the complete expression, your arms reach forward and the right elbow goes over the left. Elbows lift up and away from your face. Breathe. If this does not work, you can always cross your arms. If you fall out, come back in. Does not matter what goes on in your physical posture. Are you staying present? One more deep breath. All right. As you breathe out, uncross, release the posture. Let your hands fall by your sides. Take in the echo, take in the vibration. And then let's move into the opposite side. Shift your weight into your right leg, left leg, and the right leg crosses over the left. All right, so take your time, look at something that's not moving. If you can't hold your balance, place the foot on the mat and hands can come to your heart. You sink a little, lift your heart, and then go into the full expression of crossing the left elbow over the right, or just hugging your own self, hugging your shoulders. Find something that works for you. We are putting ourselves in all these postures and training our mind to be steady no matter how we are moving. When we do this on the mat, we are able to stay present off the mat. One more deep breath, release, and find your forward fold this time. Find your forward fold. Let your head hang heavy, breathe. Take another deep breath in. Let's step it back into a plank. And then let's press back into a downward facing dog. All right, we're going into a pigeon posture next. So the right knee goes to your right wrist. Bring the right knee to your right wrist. So you move towards the outer edge of your mat. All right, we're going to do a variation here. So sit onto your right hip. Sit onto your right hip. We're going into a deer posture, and then pull the shin up towards the front of the mat. So your shin and your thigh make a L shape. The back knee pulls forward a little. Yes. All right. So can you turn towards the front of the mat? Yeah. And then either stay here. If you can come down onto your forearms, you can do that too. So anytime you can pull this back knee forward a little more if it does not feel comfortable in your body. So the shin should be parallel towards the front or as much as you can get it. Anytime something does not feel right, listen to that wisdom. Take one more deep breath here. And as you breathe out, slowly, mindfully start coming out of the posture. There's no graceful way of coming out of it. Take your time. Move slowly. Find your way back into a downward facing dog. We talked about the energy of creation, the energy of preserving, and then comes the energy of destruction. Everything is in a state of flux. Everything keeps changing and shifting. Everything comes to an end and a new cycle begins again. So let's take the opposite knee to the wrist. The left knee goes to the left wrist. So go towards the outer edge of the mat. Sit onto your left hip. And then make that L shape with your leg. The hip is in line with the knee. The heel is in line with the knee. And then if you want, pull the back knee closer for more comfort. Good. If you want to fold over, you can do that here. But if you feel tightness in your hips and folding over feels uncomfortable, listen to your wisdom. Breathe here. Everything keeps moving. We are born, we live, we pass away, and the cycle keeps going. Everything is constantly changing and shifting. But when we get attached to something and we want it to stay forever, that's where suffering is caused. So remind yourself, everything is constantly moving and shifting. Take one more deep breath. Slowly, actually this time just sweep the back leg forward so you are in a seated with your legs extended in front of you. Right. Take a deep breath in. You can sit on the edge of a blanket here, or you can just sit on the floor. Listen to your body. If just sitting on the floor like this feels uncomfortable, sit on the edge of a blanket like you're almost going down a slide. So sit on the edge of a blanket. Take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine. As you breathe out, fold over, fold over. Again, it does not matter where your hands land, your shins, your knees, your big toes. It's not about pressing or pushing yourself to fit the posture. Remind yourself, we cut the cloth to fit our body. We don't cut our bodies to fit the cloth. So the same thing, don't push your body to fit into the posture. Modify the posture to fit your body. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, slowly come all the way onto your backs. Breathe here. Take in the echo, take in the vibrations. So we talked about, we say the sound of Om into the universe, and then we hold the space for the universe to talk back. But in the first story, the universe is within us. So close your eyes as you move into Shavasana. Listen to the sounds of your own higher consciousness. Connect with your own self, that part of you that was there before the world started telling you what you should be, how you should be. Connect with that pure light.